all right. What's up, y'all?
All
We
right, let me put
back
my
for
earpiece
another
in.
one. Back for another one. Got your boy in the building, man. Caps and 4G. What's cracking,
Yes, sir.
Caps?
What's going on, man?
Oh man,
Everything
just
good?
cooling, man. Glad we finally got everything working. As y'all come in, man, hit the like button for me. Drop me a comment. Let me know the audio's good. Y'all can hear both of us, and we can go ahead and get started. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and try to test this out one more time.
Yeah.
I think it's working. I think it's good.
You
All
just
right,
go.
Caps. You said you had some new news for us, man. So what's been going on with you though, man? Catch up real fast before you get into your news, man. Just let
Well,
everybody know who you are and
yeah,
shout out
yeah.
shout out your
This,
channel. Get that in there.
yeah. This is. Can they hear me?
Let me make sure real fast.
Because I don't got my earpiece on, so I wonder if they can still hear me without the earpiece.
Yeah, they can hear you. They can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Capson Full. I'm out here in Brooklyn. Big Manny Pacquiao fan, right?
Brooklyn Zoo.
Yeah, man. I heard. I heard something about Tank Davis is not fighting no one. He's going no one fighting someone around 130 and 135. He's leaving that. And
He's
he's
leaving
fighting.
135.
He said he's not going to fight no one in 130 and 135, and he might be fighting a champion next, a championship fight next. So I'm like, I mean, Manny
Huh.
don't got a belt, but that's kind of strange how he just leaves 130, 135,
So
and
hold on. You saying he's
he
leaving 135 and he's moving
well,
up?
he said yeah, he says it's either he's moving up or he's moving down, which I don't think he's moving down to less than 130.
Where's he
So
got his belt at? 130 or 135?
um I can't remember one of the two or something like that. But
I think
he
because somebody said it in the chat the other day. I think they said 130.
oh, okay. Yeah, but that was the new news. So I'm trying to figure out if that has anything to do with Manny Pacquiao, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Because he's talking about fighting a big champion. But
Huh.
man,
What I was gonna say is maybe he's talking about Tiafimo. Maybe it's Tio.
Timo was at 135, right?
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. If he's moving up, then it wouldn't be Tio.
Nah. So we don't know. I don't know who it is, but I saw a kind of an article about him and Manny Pacquiao. I can't remember what article I saw, but it was in Filipino, so I couldn't translate it. You know what I'm saying?
I did
So
read an article about him possibly fighting Manny Pacquiao the other day, but that was when all the news was coming out about him hurting his hand. So
right,
I haven't really looked into it much since they said he hurt. But everybody's saying now his hand's not actually broken. So
right,
uh I guess it is a possibility.
yeah, yeah, possibility. So
Was
I
you
don't
able
know.
to find that article? You was able to find the
Nah,
article? You
I
couldn't
couldn't
find
find
it.
it.
Okay.
But when I was watching you live the other day, you was talking about his net worth. Man, that's amazing that people right now is complaining about 40 million. And he fought
and,
Cotto, and Margarito around 35 million.
yeah,
That was reported in the Sun. So
and that's
I'm like,
before the pay-per-view money and the gate.
wow,
That's not even adding in. That was just what he got paid for the fight. So it's kind of crazy that people even think that he don't deserve $40 million. I mean, uh, he he would be making that anyway. If all
mm.
this stuff wasn't going on. So
And that thing that's going on right now, like you said, and he fought Hatton and Cotto in the same year, and that was the year of that financial
yeah,
situation with the houses.
yeah. So
So,
I don't see why what's going on in the world would hold the fight up. Uh, like I said, man, the people who got money, they're just getting richer right now, and it's the people who
yeah,
ain't got money who's in messed up situations. So uh,
yeah, it's mainstream versus us. You know what I'm saying?
basically, yeah, and
Basically,
we're talking about people in over in the Middle East where oil comes from. So them people ain't
yeah,
going broke no time. So,
right. So, if somebody wants to sponsor, we take that fight on just to promote their new logo or whatever it is, they could lose 30,
I
40
mean,
million.
here's what I'm wondering. It's like, what is Manny Pacquiao going to be fighting under the MP Promotions banner, or is he going to be fighting under the Paradigm banner or the PBC banner?
Right.
It's very interesting, and that's why that $40 million is kind of intriguing. Now that I think about it, I don't feel
Right.
like Manny Pacquiao is going to get the whole portion of that $40 million because there are too many hands in this pot. So maybe that $40 million is set at $40 million because there are going to be so many hands in the pot. You know what I'm saying? So maybe PBC's getting a piece of that money, Paradigm's getting a piece of that money, and Pacquiao's getting a piece of that money.
And
So
Bob
perhaps
Arum.
yeah. Well, I think they're expecting Bob Arum and ESPN to put up Terence Crawford's hell, the 10 million, because they're saying they got Pacquiao's 40 million already, which yeah, they're saying they already got the 40 million, but then I guess they're wanting ESPN and Bob Arum to put up the other half, which is, I think that's fair. $10 million should be nothing for Arum and ESPN. I mean, they got millions on top of millions, so I don't think it's astronomical. I think it's weird that it's 40 million, and then you got Paradigm, PBC, and MP Promotions. So I would think all three of those promotional companies are going to get a piece of the money. I wouldn't think that all of it's going to go straight to Pacquiao.
Yeah. Well, he just said it a little bit higher. It might drop it to 35 or 33 or something.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
he probably, his portion might be like 20 million, 22 million, and then then Paradigm and PBC will split the other 20. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. We got somebody in the chat. What's up, Lewis? Lewis says, shout out to my man Cardinal Red. What's good, Lewis? And he says, maybe the 40 million is actually a donation for Pacquiao's presidential bid.
Or vice president.
And that's why I'm confused as, because some people saying he's running for president, some people saying he's running for vice president. So I don't even know. But it sounds more like he's running for vice president to me, behind somebody. So I'm not sure when you're running for vice president, I don't think you need as much money behind you. I mean, he don't really need it anyway. I just told y'all his net worth yesterday is $260 something million. So it's not like he's out here starving for cash, right?
Exactly.
I don't think he's really in it for the money at this point. But the money's good. Don't get me wrong.
And that money is converted into
what's
that money. That American money is converted into the money back in the Philippines.
Yeah, and then that's another thing. It's like if he's worth 260 million or whatever, he's probably really worth like $1 billion over there. So it is what it is.
But you know what's so funny for me is that if this goes through, it's like, why they couldn't do this with Spence?
And that's another thing.
Go
ahead though.
No. The reason I'm trying to figure this out is because if he wants to fight Ugas, I can understand he wants to fight Ugas because Ugas got something that he wants, and that's that belt. Then I can understand he's trying to build his own legacy. And I won't have a problem with him fighting Ugas. But he did say he wanted Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, and Crawford. But like I said in my video, that Manny don't have a belt no more, so I think he might be looking for Ugas. But if Manny beats Crawford, would he still have that same agenda that he wants Manny Pacquiao, because then Manny Pacquiao have the WBO belt, and will he still go for that, or will he just stay quiet? I don't know. What do you think?
It's weird that you said that, because I was watching a little bit of Porterweight podcast yesterday, and he asked one of the hosts asked Sean Porter that same question, like, why do you think he said something to the effect of, why do you think Earl Spence is calling out you guys now when he didn't want to call him out before he got the belt? Like, why is he coming out of nowhere to call out you guys all of a sudden because he got that because Pacquiao got stripped, basically?
Right.
And he kind of laughed it off. But I mean, it's you know, it's funny in the way that he would go call out you guys, and then just stop completely talking about Pacquiao, like like he don't even exist no more. And it's weird that he hasn't said anything about this $40 million offer. You would think he would have came straight out like, hey, hold on, we under the same promotional banner. How can you go give Terence Crawford $10 million, but you're not gonna offer me $10 million to fight you? You know, you would think he would have said something about that by now, but
In this situation, it's like two different legacies. Like, okay, you go to the Ugas, you're building your own legacy. If you go to Crawford, you're building both your legacy. But I see Crawford say he doesn't really want Spence anymore. And a lot of people say, well, if you don't fight Spence, well, your legacy is not fulfilled. But let me ask you a question. Broner. Broner, you think he did more than Errol Spence in his legacy to be in the Hall of Fame?
Did Broner do more?
Yeah, and Danny Garcia?
No. Broner's fame came off the back of Floyd Mayweather. He wouldn't have been famous if it wasn't for Floyd Mayweather. He'd probably
No,
still
but
be.
I'm saying like what he done in his past. Because he did win some divisions. He won some, and same thing with Danny.
I mean, he was a champion at welterweight. I can't take that away from him, but
Right.
I don't feel like he would have got that shot so fast if it wasn't for his affiliation with Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He would have had a harder road to get there if he wasn't so affiliated with Mayweather.
And what about Danny Garcia and his history of, you know, and not just the welterweight division. I'm talking about in other divisions. How would you rate him compared to Spence? Because you know, Spence, like I'm saying, all right, Spence, like Crawford, he did undisputed at 140, right?
Yeah.
He did more in his legacy. They saying that
and that's the thing, you know, if they were both at 140, you know, I could argue that, but I'm only gonna argue where they're at the moment. And my problem with Terence Crawford is they're trying to build him up as one of the best welterweights, but he's only been at welterweight for a few years. You know, it's not like he's been at welterweight the whole time dominating.
Right.
And they're trying to build him up like he's the best welterweight out there. He might be one of the best all-around boxers, but I don't feel like he's the best welterweight out there.
But when you say pound for pound, that's what they say about Crawford. He's pound for pound. When you say because he went up in weight, like, you know, he went up in weight. Because I believe that Broner went up in weight to the welterweight division, and he did stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Same as Danny Garcia. They build their legacy coming up to. So that's what I'm saying. You know, Spence, he's at 147, but he haven't went up to fight anyone yet. Which I'm happy that he didn't fight Canelo and nothing like that, because he's still got unfinished business in the 147 division. So that's what I mean by, you know, comparison between Spence, Danny Garcia, Broner, and you know, and Crawford. And
I just feel like Earl Spence has the best resume right now. You know,
he does.
He's got the best resume, and he holds those titles. You know, his resume probably is not even better than until he got beat Keith Thurman. It's probably about the same as Keith Thurman's. You know, as far as the strength of the fighters that they fought. But he got the belts. He got both of those belts, so he has a little bit more bragging rights, I guess you could say, than those other guys. So he just hasn't lost. It's not, you know, I can't compare none of these guys to Mayweather or Pacquiao or anybody of the last generation, because they got so many more fights. By the time that they were 30, they had so way more fights than these guys have. So when it comes to trying to compare them to the last generation, you really can't. There's nothing to go off of. But as far as this generation and the generation of welterweights, you know, he's the best right now. Right now, it don't mean he's always going to be the best, but it's just for right now.
Yeah, in that division, right. So, like, this situation where Sean Porter rejecting $2 million. I remember Manny Pacquiao fighting Luaba for what, 40,000, I looked that up.
They didn't have that fight on there.
No, I
But
checked. It was
I
like
don't think he got in it. I don't think he got much for that fight. You know, it was like I said
40,000.
yesterday. He was doing that for legacy. He knew what he was going to get if he won that fight. You know, he knew the fame that came off the back of if he win that fight, man. So,
and that's what I'm trying to compare with Sean Porter. I mean, if he has that chance, I mean, it's not a lot of money, $2 million, but at the same time, it is a lot of money. But it's a lot of money if you beat Crawford and you move. You're building your legacy.
That's the problem, you know, and that's the problem. It's a problem, man, because there's two dynamics going on in a way. It's the effect that Mayweather put on boxing, to where these guys think that having the zero means something. So certain guys don't want to fight certain guys. Then you got another dynamic going on that PBC boxing created by taking all these guys who would have been fighting on HBO or Showtime 10 years ago and putting them on free TV. So now you got their whole fan base, you know, when they've had really good fights on free TV. So now most of their fan base are expecting them to fight good fights on free TV. So so their careers are not translating over to pay-per-view. So it makes them not worth anything to Bob Arum. You know, I don't blame Bob Arum in this situation. I would lowball these guys too, because they're not worth anything on pay-per-view. So even if he did invest in those fights, he's not going to make anything off of them. Other than purist boxing fans wanting to buy those fights, he's not going to make nothing off of turn. And you have the other dynamic, so you can throw this third one in there of Terence Crawford can't. He's a star that can't sell a pay-per-view. It's the craziest ish in the world, but you got three parallels going on in the sport of boxing right now in the welterweight division, and it's keeping fans from getting the best fights. I think those are the things that are keeping fans from getting, because I mean that's the problem over at PBC to me, is none of those guys, with the exception of Keith Thurman, and maybe Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia to a lesser extent, but none of the other names in the welterweight division can sell their own fight. You know, you guys can't sell. He's a champion, can't sell his own fight, whether he's a paper champion or not. Porter can't sell his own fight. Danny Spence, really, you know, Spence can. You know,
and that's the thing that's got me. Like, you know, Spence could sell more than Crawford, but they going to the Crawford route. Manny Pacquiao's going to the Crawford route. So that kind of gave me kind of suspicious and kind of like, something strange. What's going on under the like? What's going on?
I think this is the problem with the Spence Pacquiao fight. I think Spence wants the A side in that fight, and Pacquiao's not going to give him that. So the only other way for him to remain the A side is to go beat Crawford and to take that belt he got. You know, because it gives him more negotiating power in the Spence fight.
You mean beat Ugas?
I mean, he could beat Ugas and get that belt back, or he could go beat Crawford, wait and see what the GAB does, you know, and he could actually get that belt back without even fighting Ugas.
But you see, the thing about fighting Crawford, they're going through this problem with the 60-40. So what is 60-40? Let me explain. What is 60-40 of what?
We don't know. We don't know, because they never told what the actual split is going to be as far as the money. They just said it's going to be 60-40. So we don't know. Is that 60-40 of $30 million? Is that 60-40 of 50 million? You know, we don't know. So,
well, we kind of know. We kind of know. You know how we know? Because if somebody gives you a set price of 10 million and Crawford says, "I'll take it," right off the bat, well, that kind of tells you, in a way,
that's for the Pacquiao fight. I mean, I'm talking about for the Spence fight.
No. I'm saying, like, you don't know what the 60-40 is. But if somebody gives you a set price at 10 million, you say, "All right, I got that. I'll take it right away." How do you go about the 60-40? We don't know what the 60-40 is exactly. If it's 30 million, 20 million. But if somebody say, "I'll take the 10 million right off the bat, and I'll build my legacy off of Manny Pacquiao and have his name as leverage," well, that's kind of telling you what's going on with the 60-40 between Crawford and Spence in a way. You see it that way.
I would see it that way if I knew what Spence actually offered Crawford. I don't know the actual dollar amount.
Right.
that they said Spence offered Crawford. So I can't really.
Mm.
I just know that they said it was a 60-40 split, and
So,
that's all I can really go off of. So I'm
so let
not
me ask you
really.
a question. Would that go upon what they make at the end of pay-per-views and all that stuff? And then they say, okay, 60-40, this is what you get, and this is what I get. Or would they have a set price like how Manny Pacquiao had a set price? Here, take that 10, and we're gonna make this fight.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe maybe if they Spence and Crawford fight, maybe Spence will get like 10 million and Crawford will get his normal 5. I thinking, or maybe Crawford will get like 15 million and Spence will, Spence will get like 15 and Crawford will get like 5 or 6. I think that would be like a 60-40 split.
Right. So that's 5 on top of the 5 that he's guaranteed by Bob Arum, because I think he's guaranteed what, 3 or 4 million from guaranteed.
As far as Pacquiao and Crawford goes, I think that I'm not sure how they came up with that number, but it's got to be based off something. Like I said, I think it would be based off of them paying Pacquiao 20 million, Paradigm getting 10 million, and then PBC getting 10 million, and then Bob Arum and ESPN pay Crawford his 10 million. Because they already said they got Pacquiao's part already. They're not that money's there. According to what I saw yesterday, they said it's some group called the Angle Group or the Angel Group that already have Pacquiao's 40 million. So that's not in question. What's in question is, where does that other 10 million supposed to come from? Is it supposed to be on Bob Arum and ESPN to come up with that whole 10 million, or do that Angle Group have $50 million that they have up that they're gonna give Bob Arum and ESPN, and then they take a portion of the pay-per-view revenue? That's what I'm thinking. Because I don't understand why they would have 40 million for Pacquiao, but they don't have the other 10 million for Crawford. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe they actually have 50 million on the fight, and then they're just going to get a portion of the pay-per-view, and they're going to keep most of the gate in the pay-per-view, is what I'm thinking.
And like I said, these investors, man, if they got a new logo out there and they putting it out, they don't mind losing 50, 60, 70 million dollars just to show their sponsor, just to show that logo.
Whoever these people are, they stand and make a lot of money off this fight if it goes through. A lot of money if it goes through. So
a lot more than what's going on right now, because there's no Tyson, there's no Wilder, there's no.
Is it not happening now?
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's gonna happen, man. The way I see it, when it comes to Wilder, all he have to do is show his face and get back in the ring. And if he doesn't get the Tyson fight, I see that Tyson just put on a lot of weight, so I don't know what's going on. And
yeah, I saw those pictures. All right, let me jump into the chat real fast, man.
No problem.
Lewis, I think Pac's PBC contract is up. It seems Paradigm has sole control of his career. Probably demand in the Middle East is Pac Bud. Well, to my understanding, he still has one more fight with the PBC. Paradigm is just a promotional company. They don't have. I don't think they have any type of manage. I think they're just managing his career. I don't think they're actually like promoting his career. And I think he's leaving that up to PBC and then MP promotion part. Because eventually MP Promotions is going to completely take over. It's not going to be no more PBC.
Because Al Haymon, he's not a promoter, he's an advisor. So
but
you know how that goes.
Yeah.
That's another word. You know how it goes.
they kind of like just represent. What they basically do is they put up the money for the venues. They buy the TV rights. They make sure everybody gets paid. They just the front for the money, really. To make sure that the fight actually goes off. They get paid on the back end.
So would Manny Pacquiao still have another fight with PBC, or this fight be with?
To my understanding, he does still have another fight with them. Maybe even 2. But to my understanding, it's just that one. It's that one left, and I'm guessing maybe he's just trying to wait Spence out because he'll get a bigger portion of the money if he fights him second. You know,
and that's another thing, like you would say, you know, all these things that the training camp is saying. Spence look, his two-step looking real bad. He looking slow, and is that to fish him out, to get him out to fight, or is it like these remarks that the training camp and Manny Pacquiao is saying? Is it to pull him out, or because it's like, come on, man, it's like it's one or the other.
I will say that they are very, very confident, and for me not to have seen Pacquiao in over a year. I feel like they've seen something in Pacquiao that we just are not privy to, and they're confident in that guy. If you heard what I was saying about that Justin Fortune article, I mean, he feels like, you know, from what he's saying, Pacquiao's gonna fight Crawford or you guys, and then go fight Spence in the summertime. So it's kind of like already set in stone. So I'm like, damn, if they're saying it like that, you know, they're not even thinking about a loss, sir. It's not even crossing their mind that he's gonna lose to either one of these guys. So they gotta know something. I mean, listen, Justin Fortune was with Pacquiao at Top Rank. He's seen what Terence Crawford has to offer. There's no surprises there. You know, it's a few years later, but I don't feel like there's no surprises there. So and he's been over with Pacquiao at PBC, so he's seen Spence. There's no surprises there, you know. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's very interesting that they are overly confident in Pacquiao just going that Pacquiao's going to get both of these fights. To me, I mean, maybe they just feel confident because the money's there and they don't have to you know, haggle over the money situation like they did with Bob Arum. Let me read a few more of these comments, man. Get caught up, man, in case this thing takes off. Mr. BR3 says caps in full red 206 shout out. What's cracking, bro? What's cracking?
What's cracking, yo?
Ain't Live says Crawford taking less because he feels sorry for Pac because he know he's gonna KO Pac and retire him. It's gonna be Pac farewell gift. 100.
Well, you know, I got Pacquiao beating Spence. I got the blueprint on Spence. I got the blueprint on Crawford. So I already know what to do. And it came from Manny Pacquiao's mouth. He said, if I fight Crawford, once I hit him, his whole gameplay, his whole game fight's gonna change. That's
exactly what happened to Keith Thurman. When he landed that shot on Keith Thurman, everything changed for Thurman in that moment. And I think everybody who doubted Pacquiao, their whole demeanor changed as soon as that punch landed. So
and that's what Pacquiao said. He said, you know, everybody got a plan. Well, this is what Mike Tyson said until you get popped in the mouth. But saying that Manny, I'm going to do a video on that where Manny Pacquiao said, in order for me to fight Crawford and get him off his game plan is when I hit him. This is exactly what he said. When I hit him, he's going to get off his game plan on how he's going to fight me. Now with Spence, he already saying he's slow, you know, and all that stuff. So, you know, I got Manny Pacquiao beating both of them, man. After I see Spence and after I see Crawford getting knocked down by Green Machine, which, you know, I'm not sure.
Everybody keeps bringing up his Green Machine fight. I'm gonna go watch this tonight because I haven't watched it yet. I ain't watched it yet. I get caught up on her, man, for like an hour or two. I'll be like, I'm gonna watch it. It'd be 4:00 in the morning. As soon as I get off, I pass out.
Well, my thing is that, you know, you could argue that it's not a knockdown or it is a knockdown, but for him to put himself in the position where you got to argue to say, well, I think he got knocked down or I think he slipped. Nah, you can't do that.
So did they not call it a knockdown and that cost Green Machine the fight? Mean Machine the fight?
Yeah, they call it a knockdown. He got knocked down, man. He got knocked down. I saw that. Like I rewind that shit.
So they didn't call it a knockdown.
I remember. Nah, I don't think they called it. They didn't call it knockdown. They didn't call it knockdown. So anybody,
I'm gonna go watch that fight tonight, man. Once we're done, I'm gonna go watch it, man, because everybody talks about that fight. So obviously he exposed something in Crawford that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because I turned the volume down and I just watched it. I didn't listen to what. I just kept looking at that one clip, and to me, it looked like he got knocked down. You see what I'm saying? So
it's one of those situations like Floyd Mayweather and Castillo.
Some someone.
Solano,
Yeah.
similar to that. Yeah.
Like I say Crawford, he's a good fighter, but the thing is that, like I said in my other video, that he has a lot of dog in him, and that might be a problem. If you do not box Manny Pacquiao and you try to dog fight him, that's when you're gonna mess up, man. You're gonna mess up right there. So I'm betting that Crawford is gonna try to go at him, and that's the problem that he's gonna have.
You think Crawford's boxing skills are superior to Manny Pacquiao's? Like his pure boxing skills, like when they go technique for technique.
Manny's footwork and his hands is just it's too multitaskable for these guys. Too multitaskable. The hands,
yeah.
You know, when he's hitting the bag and he's hitting the speed bag, his feet is moving, his hands moving. He's too multitaskable for these guys. I'm just telling you.
And a lot of people don't realize how hard that actually is to do. Like to move your feet and move your hands that fast at the same time is that's a very I still haven't. I can do it, but I can't do it at the pace he does it at. Like he can move like and hit the speed bag and move around it. I can't. I haven't got to that level yet, man.
I love doing.
Let me finish up these chats real quick. Adam M says no way Pacquiao KOs Crawford. We'll see, man. Ain't Laugh says Spence capping, bro. I bet if Crawford say okay, I'll take that 40%. I bet Spence switch it up real fast with another excuse besides who's negotiating in the open. Like Spence did. Ain't it supposed to be in-house?
Well, the excuse would be that he's going to fight Ugas because Ugas got something. This is what Spence said. Ugas got something what I want now. So that would be the only excuse. And like I said, I can't blame Spence for taking that because it's his legacy and he wants that belt. And that's more leverage to fight Crawford. If that fight happens, Rich Crawford is like, you know what? I don't really care about fighting Spence. So where we go from there?
And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I kind of meant about Manny Pacquiao, going after Terence Crawford is because, well, if Spence is that interested in just belts, then Pacquiao has to put himself back in a position to get another belt. And since Spence kind of scooped that you guys fight up from him, he doesn't really have a choice but to go after Terence Crawford. But in the meantime, here's another. I think this might be why Spence has gone quiet. And it's because of that GAB situation. And he said he wasn't interested in fighting you guys. I think because of that GAB, maybe they are going to give Pacquiao that belt back. Maybe they
What do you mean by that? What's the GA? I don't understand.
It's the gaming and something board in the Philippines. They're petitioning to get that belt back. So he might actually get it back without even having to fight you guys. So if he goes and fights Crawford and wins, he might actually get that belt back and be unified champion. Yeah, back, just because they got that, they sanctioned their lobbying to get that belt back.
So how do you feel about them not giving him a mandatory and they just took the belt? Like,
well, technically they did sort of put it out there. I remember seeing that article where they were saying, and I made a video about this about 4 months ago. If he don't come out and say something, that he got the there's a possibility they're gonna strip him and give the belt to you guys, because I saw an article like 4 or 5 months ago saying that exact thing. So I would say that they didn't tell him officially, but they did put something out there that was stating that, well, if you don't at least name your next fight, that you might lose that belt.
And so, the fights that he was naming was Ryan and McGregor, and well, that was
it was the McGregor news. It had just broke. At that time, about 4 months ago, I think the McGregor talk had just started.
Right.
And there was, and then now actually the Spence talk was heating up, and then and then they kind of dwindled down. Then McGregor talk kind of started. And then that's kind of when that article came out. So I won't, listen. What they did was wrong, but if they go ahead and if they go ahead and wait until the Crawford Pacquiao fight happens, he beats Crawford, and then they give him his belt back, because at that point he would have technically you could technically say he defend, because I don't understand this whole champion recess thing. He's
Yeah.
technically still the champion in a way, and they're waiting for him to defend the belt.
Right.
They've just elevated you guys, so it's everything's kind of in a word limbo
Right.
until Pacquiao takes his next fight. So they might go off if he beats Crawford and just give him the belt back, so he'll be unified champion again. It's a weird situation, but I think that might be a reason why Spence has gone quiet, because he's just trying to wait and see how this situation is gonna play out.
Yeah, because the word strip and recess. If it's strip, you strip. A lot of people saying, well,
exactly. That's what don't make no sense. It's like, okay, either he's the champion in recess, or he's the champion who's been stripped of the title. I think there's no need for a recess if you strip him.
Right. But everybody on the other hand is saying, well, recess means strip. If that doesn't mean strip. I mean that.
No, because in that article it says that if Pacquiao is the champion in recess, and the champion in recess can lobby for a number one contender fight. So he could actually just go say, I want to fight you guys and be the number one contender. But if he doesn't, that makes Jamal James the number one contender. But then a lot of people say, hey, well, number one contender don't matter. I mean, it does and it don't. You see what it did for you guys. He was Manny Pacquiao's number one contender, and he got the belt because Pacquiao didn't fight nobody.
And Keith Thurman, he had he had what he had?
He had that belt. He had that same belt that you guys has now.
No, he had two belts, and he got stripped.
Oh yeah, when he got stripped that belt, yeah.
Right, and the one that he has now, how long he had that belt before he started fighting?
Is that the one that Spence has, the IBF belt?
I think
it can't be the WBO belt because they've been over with Top Rank.
Right. And then but it's just crazy, man. There's a lot of fighters out there that didn't fight for a long time and they still had their belts. So
yeah, it's a weird situation, man. But let me finish this chat up real quick. All right, so where we at? And I got lost. Lewis says maybe his third fight on contract is supposed to be Floyd Mayweather. But technically, this would be his third fight, because remember, he fought Broner, he fought Thurman, and if he fights Crawford or Spence, that'd be the third fight under PBC. So
wait. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If he fights Crawford, that's Bob Arum's fighter. So he'll still have one more fight, and that will be either Spence or that so-called Mayweather. I mean,
not technically. I mean, because if PBC is getting a piece of the money, that's technically a fight for PBC. You know, you're just fighting under the PBC banner. That's why I said earlier, I wonder what is actually good. Is all three of those promotional companies going to be? It's going to be a 4-way promoted fight between Pacquiao and Crawford. It's going to be Pacquiao Promotions, Paradigm, and PBC, and Top Rank, and ESPN. Right. So it's a lot of hands in the pot, is what I was saying earlier. It's a lot
because Manny Pacquiao said he want to fight twice in a year. So if he's fighting Crawford, what's the next fight? You know?
I mean, he said he wants Spence. He said, according to that article I read yesterday, he said he wants Spence next. You know, Spence is the next. It's already kind of, like I said, they're making it seem like it's already set in stone, like he's just gonna beat Crawford and go fight Spence. So it's weird.
Where's the Spence fans up in the comments, man? Because you know the basic thing.
My dude, he's normally in here. That's why I'm trying to get to the comments to see if he was in here. But we got quite a bit. Let me get back to this real fast. Scummy says Pac-Man on that high grade Filipino. He's selling, man. Adam M says Spence easy work for Bud. He's too slow and flat-footed. Bud boxing circles around Spence. Wow, what do you think about that? Spence easy work for Bud. He's too slow and flat-footed. Bud boxes circles around Spence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Bud could beat The way I see it, I think Bud could beat Spence. That's why I said Bud would be a harder fight for Manny Pacquiao. But like I said, like everybody said, that chin is suspect with Crawford. And Manny Pacquiao also feels that way because he said once I hit him, his whole game plan is going to change. So, I got Bud beating Spence. Yeah, I got
But
Bud.
no, I mean that fight's not gonna happen. I mean it's not gonna happen if Pacquiao beats him though.
Right, exactly. And even if Pacquiao don't fight him, do you really think that fight is going to happen?
I think it's the best thing for both of them at the moment. I think
If
it's
they
the
can't
best
agree, if they can't agree on it, then it's like them holding the whole belt
because
hostage.
I mean to be honest, look, Spence ain't gonna fight Crawford, man. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen unless Crawford can beat Pacquiao or go get that belt from you guys. That's the only way it's gonna happen. So if he don't fight Pacquiao and Spence fights you guys, who else does he have to fight? He can go fight Thurman, but I think Thurman knocks his head off. So I
Well, you
think
got Thurman getting Spence out of it,
yeah, taking Crawford out.
or taking Crawford out.
Yeah.
How about Spence?
I think he would beat Crawford pretty badly.
Yeah, I like I said, that chin is still suspect to me, man.
Yeah, I think Crawford would. I think it would be almost like Amir Khan fighting Thurman because Amir Khan can hang with you for a little while because of his speed, but like you
Right.
said, his chin is sus. As soon as you land a big shot on him, he's gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, but Crawford, he has a lot of tools. The switch stance. Like I said, if you fight Manny Pacquiao and you're a switcher,
the left-handedness didn't have it didn't bother Keith Thurman when he fought Pacquiao. What bothered him was the speed and the power.
right?
I think, So I think Crawford has speed, but he lacks in power.
Yeah, but like I said, if he's a switcher and he's not, if he doesn't know how to, you see how Manny Pacquiao is multitasker with the hands and the feet.
Yeah.
If Crawford is not multitasking with his footwork and switching constantly to disturb the pattern of Manny Pacquiao, then you're not doing anything because if you're a southpaw, if you're in a southpaw position and you switch to the orthodox, what are you showing Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao fought a whole bunch of orthodox fighters except David Diaz. David Diaz was a southpaw. So when you switch to the right, you're not showing Manny Pacquiao anything. If you switch to the left, if you're constantly doing it, then it might be a situation. But the jab.
And that's who I was trying to think of yesterday is David Diaz, man. You saw what he did to David Diaz. He didn't even he didn't have a chance in that fight, man. He boxed circles around David. His head was so lumpy after that fight. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, the only thing I'm scared for Manny Pacquiao in that fight with Crawford is Crawford's jab, because that's his power hand in the front. That's his power hand. He's actually an orthodox fighter. If you could recall that he broke his hand, and but he's actually, his right hand is his strong hand. You see what I'm saying? And that's in the front, in a southpaw position. But when it comes to Crawford in a southpaw position, he has no balance. He could fight in southpaw, but he's not really a southpaw fighter. You see what I'm saying?
And that might be why people think if you ain't got no balance in a southpaw, and he's probably gonna flatline you.
Yeah,
because you see how fast he is. He's gonna get eventually gonna make Terence Crawford tangle his feet up, and he's gonna land something big. So,
but Crawford jab is very strong, and I saw that with the Kell Brook fight. But Manny Pacquiao got something for that. Oh, he got to parry that shit out the way and get busy on Crawford.
but Brook compared to Pacquiao is night and day. Brooks has no speed. So he was right in front of Terence. He was right there, for Terence Crawford to hit him. So it's not gonna be that way at all.
Right. And most of Kell Brook punches to Crawford was straight punches. It wasn't a lot of hooks.
But you know what? What's crazy about that is I had Brook actually pretty much tied with Crawford up until that point in that fight.
Oh yeah,
I don't think he was dominating him until he landed that final punch on Brook. So
right. How do you feel about Danny Garcia and the Spence fight after the 12th round of the Spence and Danny Garcia fight? The last 20 seconds, all of a sudden Danny got busy and was backing up Spence. Like,
I
why you
think
didn't
listen. I don't really think that mattered. You know, he you know, they already went 12 rounds. He couldn't do nothing
Yeah.
with Spence. I don't feel like I don't feel like I just don't feel like he was gonna do anything with Spence anyway. To be honest with you, I just feel like Spence is much better than he is.
No,
So
no,
he
no.
fought the fight he could, and
Uh,
he still had something left in the tank when he got to the end.
yeah, but
Could he have went harder? He probably could have, but
that's what I'm saying. He could have gone harder.
he
In
could
that
have
last
got
20
knocked
seconds of
out too if he would have went too hard.
yeah, but in that last 20 seconds of the 12th round, he backed Spence up and he was throwing punches. I'm like, yo, you could at least do that a couple rounds, bro. You know,
But you
you
got to
could,
think, you know, by then Spencer's probably tired too, so you know
yeah,
it opens the door for him to do a little bit more. It's the
yeah.
12th round.
I don't know. That's crazy, but I don't know. You know, I feel that Derek James know the real deal about Manny Pacquiao. I like in one of my videos, I proved that Derek James feels that Manny Pacquiao is a threat even at this time because in one of his interviews with Dante's Boxing, that another channel tried to after I brought this statement up, this other channel tried to ask him who's your best pound for pound, and this time Derek James did not say Manny Pacquiao, but in the past, when Dante's Boxing asked him who you got for pound, and he said, I don't really believe in pound for pound, but if you want to name some people, I'll name Manny Pacquiao. He dominated for 10 to 15 years. And I was like, what the hell? So, you know, that's Derek James. That's Spence trainer. And then Dante asked him, what about Mayweather? He said, oh, yeah, Mayweather too. But then Derek James said, but Mayweather was doing it longer than Manny Pacquiao was doing it longer than Mayweather. So, you know, if you see the mentality of what's going on with Derek James, do he really feel like Spence got it what it takes right now at this moment? Maybe he needs another fight. Maybe that's why we're not hearing too much about you know.
To be honest, I think all this plays right into Spence's hands. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if people really think he's done or he's injured, they're gonna approach that fight a certain way.
Right.
And if he's really not that affected, it kind of plays right, into his hands. Because hey, he could have just went in there and took it easy for that first fight back. We don't know. You know, we haven't heard too much from Earl Spence. Right. So I would say all this plays right into his hands. But I'm hoping all this, you know, I'm hoping him staying quiet forces this Pacquiao Crawford fight to happen. You know, I feel like that's his strategy. He wants everybody else to go ahead and work it out. And he just pick up the chips at the end. You know, that's
he did a lot. He did a lot. He fought a lot of welterweights.
Yeah, and he deserves to. This is why I say he deserves to kick his feet up because he's done more at welterweight than Terence Crawford. It's time for Terence Crawford to show and prove. And if you're the guy at the end of the day, like if you can go through Pacquiao, then you deserve that Spence shot, you know. But at this point, I don't blame Earl Spence for kicking his feet up. The ball's in his court.
So let me ask you a question. If Bud Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, right, and that fight do happen between Bud and Spence, and let's say Manny Pacquiao beats Bud, and that happens with Manny Pacquiao and Spence, who got the biggest revenue between the two against Spence?
So if you said if Pacquiao beats Bud,
right? Let's say Pacquiao beats Bud, and then it'll be Pacquiao against Spence, right? But
what fight would do better? Which one would do better? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, for the next fight. If either of those two win and fight Spence, which one would do better?
Definitely the Pacquiao fight.
Right, there you go.
Definitely the Pacquiao fight. I think if Crawford beats Pacquiao and goes on to fight Spence, it's gonna do great. Right. But you're gonna lose all of those Pacquiao fans. They're not gonna tune in for that next fight. It's a whole base in the Philippines that's not gonna tune in for that fight. You know, because Pacquiao's not fighting. So of course it's not gonna do the same numbers as it would if he fought Pacquiao. Exactly. So it's gonna do great numbers. It's gonna do great numbers. It's just not gonna do. There's no way it could be bigger than that Pacquiao fight.
Exactly. So Pacquiao was a big key to this, man. And I was listening to you the other day, and you was talking about the legacy and how it would tarnish their careers if Manny Pacquiao, either beat Bud Crawford or Spence. I'm like, yo, you're so right about that, Red. That it would just make the welterweight division look like doo-doo.
I mean, and I think it will, but it would depend on how bad he beat him. If he if he just got eked out a victory, 1 point, half a point, I think especially with Crawford, it might trigger a rematch. So it would depend on how bad he beat him. If he knocked him out, it's definitely gonna. Even if he knocked him out or TKO or do him like he did De La Hoya, it's over. It's over for Crawford.
Yeah, I feel that Manny Pacquiao, if he fights Bud, he won't knock him out, but he will drop him a couple times.
And even if he did him like Thurman, I think it would have a serious effect on his career.
First round knockdown, yeah. Man. Ain't no other
a knockdown period. I think it would take a lot away from what fans believe about Terence Crawford.
If Manny Pacquiao do one of those that he did to Timothy Bradley and Chris Algieri, and they did a little roll back and shit. They did a flip back.
Exactly. All these fighters who think that they can just go in there and figure out the puzzle that's Manny Pacquiao, they always get trapped in the Rubik's Cube. Basically. Hey, let me get to this chat real quick, because I'm way behind. Hey, y'all, we got 26 people in here right now, man. We got Captain Full G up in here, man, chopping it up. Can y'all Pacquiao the like button for us, man? Hook it, jab it, uppercut it, whatever you got to do. Let us know we in here, man. And drop me a comment. I'm gonna get to a few of these comments, try to get caught up real quick. Scummy says Floyd injects his hands with banknotes. Out war. Hey man, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I can't disagree.
Say again? What you say?
He said Bud versus Pac is an all-out war. He said he's thinking it's gonna be like a Pacquiao, Barrera, or a Pacquiao
Morales. Yeah, it could be. But like I said, until he gets that chin rocked, once he gets that chin rocked, whole game should change.
All right, let me scroll through these real fast. Prime Pack clowns these lames. That's what Scubby says. Bud slipped on his own sweat against Green Beans. Wasn't no knockdown, huh?
Yeah. But okay, let's just say he slipped on his own sweat, right? But to put yourself in that position, bro, to make it look like it's kind of suspect in a way, You can hear me?
Yeah, no, I thought somebody was shooting outside, man.
Oh,
yeah, man, I heard so. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Yeah. So, no, Gamboa rocked that chin. Gamboa rocked that chin. I just still feel that it's suspect. That's all. That's all I could say, man. But if Bud could do what he got to do, then I could see it be a good fight. But if he can't simultaneously switch to side, and I think that Manny Pacquiao, you're not going to show Manny Pacquiao nothing new. Basically, if you can't use your tools correctly, that's it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Bud has anything that Pacquiao hasn't seen. The only thing I worry about as far as the Spence fight is the size of Spence. Maybe and that whole him trying to bully Pacquiao like Jeff Horn did. I think that would be his whole strategy. Besides that, I think Pacquiao and I think Pacquiao can handle it now that he's been through it. But I would hate to see him catch a bad elbow or headbutt or something, man, and get cut, and the fight stop.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of low blows, because when he fought Kenny Porter, he fought Sean Porter. I'm sorry, Kenny Porter. Sean Porter. There was a lot of low blows in that fight with Spence, and Sean Porter got a lot of good footwork. You know what I'm saying? He just smothered his punches, but he got a lot of good footwork. He moves around pretty good for a football player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people talk about that Spence Porter fight and the low blows, and I went back and watched some of it, and I can agree that there was a lot of wild punches. But Sean Porter moves so awkwardly that you can expect there to be some fouls in there. And
Yeah,
I would say the same thing about Pacquiao. Spence
bingo.
swings from weird angles, so it's gonna be
Yeah,
some weird punches landed. Let me finish getting this chat real quick. I'm late here, but better late than never. I don't know who Pac gonna fight next, so interesting now. It comes from Orlito. Dang, I try to catch up, and we got like 10 new comments all at once. Shoot. Let me see. What was that? I'm all lost now.
Go, I guess let's get some comments. Go ahead.
Where am I at? Okay. I think I was right here. All right.
This
Adam
one from
M
Bobby
says,
Ricky. He said, "This one from
Go
Bobby
ahead.
Ricky." He said, "In my opinion, Chris is a 160 to 165 pounder that drains himself to just stand at welterweight." He's a 160 to 165. That's what Bobby Ricky said. He said, "In my opinion, Spence is a 160, 165 pounder that drains himself just to be a weight brewer."
I would actually agree with that. He's like he's a big guy for welterweight. He would do really good at up against the Charlo if he moved up and fought the Charlos, or even moved up and fought Canelo or Triple G. But he doesn't look weight drained when he fights. So why not campaign? To me, you're not supposed to fight at your natural weight. You should be at least 5 pounds lighter than your natural weight, because it's going to make you quicker, and you're going to be able to maintain your strength. So
right.
all right, I think I found myself in the chat. Where are we at? My World says Terence is a forgettable boxer. What his last name again? Adam Min says, "Whoa, Manny takes on Bud and beats him. Could we possibly see Money take on Spence? Remember, Spence gave Floyd work in sparring, which is true. I did hear about him blacking. Somebody said he blacked his eye in sparring, or busted his lip or something.
Listen, I don't know about. I don't call him Money Mayweather yet. I'm not calling him that. I call him No Risk Mayweather because he's not. I mean, if you're gonna fight somebody, you might as well fight a boxer like Broner. That would be entertaining. That
would actually be entertaining.
And he's a boxer. You know what I'm saying? He's a boxer.
But Broner's a loose cannon. He might, Broner's a loose cannon, man. He might, have a flashback of when him and Floyd was beefing and knock Floyd out. So.
Hey, at least he threw his hands,
Yeah. Who's Broner about to fight? When he got a fight coming up?
Oh yeah, I don't know who he's gonna fight for real.
I don't know who he's gonna fight. They keep on switching who he's supposed to fight. Adam M says, then we see Maypac too. It's possible, man. It's all gonna depend on this turn, if this Terence Crawford fight happens, and how Manny Pacquiao looks. I can't wait till whoever he fights gets announced, because I just want to see what he looks like in sparring, man, and who he picks to spar with, because that's going to tell us a lot about what Manny Pacquiao is going to do over the next couple of fights. Right.
This guy in the Philippines, I made a video about him. He's a southpaw. He's under Manny Pacquiao, but he's pretty good. I forgot his name.
I think I know who you're talking about too. I think.
Yeah, I made a video about him, getting him ready for Spence fight. Manny Pacquiao sparring him, because he's a southpaw and he's pretty good and he's strong. He moves pretty good too. So I thought that would have been be a good sparring.
And he normally spars with Kambosa. So he did Kambosa for, I think it was either Broner or Thurman. Right. One of those fights he sparred with Kambosa. So I like Kambosa, man. He's about to fight. Well, he's supposed to fight T.O., but I don't think it's set. I don't know what's going on with that fight. Something about Bob Arum and the money is, Bob Arum's pockets. Let me get back to this chat real fast. What do you think on Pac counter punch? I've watched his old bouts and recent, and I noticed that Pac is not that good when he's in on the back foot, like when he's forced to backpedal. Huh?
You
As
know,
far as
before
go
you
ahead,
go, it's Marcel, the Filipinos. Marcel. Um,
Mars, Mars.
I think he's a yeah, Marcel. Yeah, he's a good sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao, and he's up and coming. So go ahead. What you were saying though, I just had to get
That's
that
the
out my
name of
head.
the guy you was talking about.
I'm looking now. Yeah, it's Marcel. I have made a video about him. Yeah, he's pretty good, yo. He's a southpaw too,
Okay.
so I can see him. Yeah, but what you saying now?
Orlito said, "What do you think on? I guess he was saying, what do you think about Pacquiao's counterpunch? I've watched his old bouts and recent bouts, and I've noticed that Pac is not that good when he's on the back foot, like when he's forced to backpedal."
Manny Pacquiao on the back
Yeah,
foot.
yeah.
Oh, I when I see him on the ropes and he's on that side of the ropes, I always see him counter. And you know, the thing about Manny, he's good on the inside. You know, his arms are short, just like Tank. They both the same big head. I don't see no one complain about Tank on HGH. You see what I'm saying? I don't hear nobody talking about Tank is on HGH. The only thing that's different between Tank and Manny Pacquiao is that Manny Pacquiao got these big calves. Okay,
Yeah.
that's basically it. But they both same height and same reach. So you know, the counter punch, I think he's better in the inside fighting. Counter punch on the outside, I'm not sure, but in the inside, I'm pretty sure he's good with the parries. He's good with the parries, blocking the jabs. You know, that's what I see from Manny Pacquiao, and that's the only thing. You know, in my eyes, I don't know how you see it.
Uh, I tell you the truth, I don't remember Manny Pacquiao being on the back foot a lot because he's so fast. You know, I just don't.
Right.
I don't ever remember him being on the back foot a lot. Even when he got knocked out by Marquez, he was coming forward. So I
Yeah,
don't.
and he got stepped on, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he did a lot of things wrong right there, man.
Yeah, yeah,
it was just the perfect timing for that punch to land for Marquez.
yeah.
Alexis Channel TV. If Pac lost to Bud, what next for Pacquiao? What do you think? I think it's over. It's over, man. I would. It's over.
It depends on the fight. If it goes 12 rounds and it's a close fight, uh, then it's up to Manny if he wants to keep going or not.
Yeah, it would depend on how he lost to him. But
It depends.
if he knocks him out, then it's I don't want to see Pacquiao
Yeah, me neither.
continue. You know, it's no need for to keep doing this.
It's up to that man. You know what I'm saying? It's up to that man. But if
I
he
mean,
gets
it's up
knocked,
to him, but you know, at this point, you know, why try to, because he would have to go straight into a Spence fight. You know, and coming off a knockout, you know, that's not a good. I woun't think that would be good for Pacquiao.
so that fight when he had with Marquez, his return fight was Brandon Rios. Is that yeah, it was Brandon Rios after
was
that
either
Marquez.
Brandon Rios or Chris Algieri, one of those.
It was Brandon
But
Rios. Yeah,
I
it was
think it
just
was Brandon Rios.
yeah, he did pretty good. He did pretty good after getting knocked out from Marquez. And you know these channels, they love to say he got knocked down 3 times. They always got to bring up 3 times. He get knocked out 3 times and he got 7 losses. I'm like, yo, bro, why you keep bringing that up? Like, we
I
know
don't even think that matters that much.
it don't.
I just because of the fact that he's trying to fight twice and then
Right.
go run for the presidency. If you get knocked out, I mean, why even? You know, there's no point in the to continue. You just go, you know, go retire. I mean, he's gonna get a hell of a payday off of this. If he gets knocked out, there's no need to go and try to face up with Spence. You might as well just go on and just get ready for your presidency. You know,
Right.
maybe take that McGregor fight, you know, and then and just let
But
it be.
in my head, I can't see Spence or Crawford knocking out Manny Pacquiao.
I
Manny
don't either.
Pacquiao's chin is so solid.
I don't either. Especially not. I can see it from Spence more than I can see it from Crawford.
Right. Or you can see it more. Yeah, you can see it in Spence. But like I said in that Marquez fight, it came to like Manny Pacquiao running into that, and then Marquez stepping on his foot. It took a lot to that. You know what I'm saying?
It was a
And
whole
Manny
lot.
Pacquiao's more.
Yeah. I don't see it happening again. I don't see Crawford knocking him out. And if he lost to Crawford by half a point, you know, I would watch the rematch. I would be interested in the rematch. But it throws a monkey wrench in that whole Spence fight though, because he's only trying to fight twice, and then go run. So it would throw a lot. But I plan on doing a whole video about that whole. There's some weird stuff going about that run for presidency too that I don't want to talk about just yet. I want to save that for another time. So,
but the other thing, you could check the comments. But what I was saying is that the only thing that I know about Manny Pacquiao's chin that's more secure with me is when Thurman hit him flush a couple times, and nah, I can't see Spence or.
I do think Thurman's a better puncher than Crawford is.
Right,
I'm not sure if
he just.
I'm not sure if Thurman's a better puncher than Spence, but I think Thurman's a better puncher than Crawford.
Right, but Manny Pacquiao said Thurman can thump. So,
but at the same time, this is something that Sean Porter and them had said too about that. I think it was Sean Porter and them was talking about that. Is that everybody talks about Spence's punching power, but he didn't really. It wasn't like he was really clobbering Danny Garcia with anything. You never saw Danny Garcia really get rocked at all in that fight. So, no, actually, I think it came out of that article I was reading yesterday about Manny Pacquiao, because they were comparing what Spence did to Danny Garcia to what he possibly could do to Pacquiao, and they were like, "Well, he couldn't really hurt Garcia, so what makes you think he could hurt Pacquiao?" So,
and they can say the same thing with Mikey Garcia too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people have this argument to say, well, you know, Spence was trying to show his IQ in that fight. He really wasn't trying to knock out Mikey. And I'm like, you know what? You in a fight, bro. You got the opportunity. You're going to do it. I mean, you're going to sit there.
That's another thing. And here's the thing. Here's another thing I want to bring up. Everybody keeps saying Spence has lost a step, but they forget he looked slow in that Mikey Garcia fight too. It wasn't like he was like, he beat Mikey Garcia, but it isn't like he knocked him out or just, you know, Mikey Garcia was the smaller guy. He really couldn't do anything. But Spence looked slow in that fight too. He didn't look like a dynamic fighter in that fight.
Here's another thing. The fight with Sean Porter. That's what really turned me to be like, nah, he ain't fight. He can't beat Manny Pacquiao. It's just that same thing that Danny Garcia saw when he sat there and he rushed into the ring. Everybody sees something, but when you get in the ring, it's a different story. But the fighting style of Spence, I just don't see it with Manny Pacquiao, man. You know, and this camp is already saying he's going to obliterate Spence. So, hey,
man, the level of confidence, man, it's crazy, man. I'm very confident in Pacquiao, but when I read that stuff that Justin Fortune said, it surprised me a little bit. Ain't Live says Crawford taking less money because he know he gonna KO Pacquiao. I think I got that one out. Yeah, I got that one. Leonard Thomas says, I don't think I could find two bigger pack fangirls out there today.
What's that?
Man, we ain't gonna give him no much shine. We gave him enough shine already. It was funny what he said, but you know,
listen, let me tell you something.
He made himself feel real good off that one.
That's cool because you know what? Let me tell you something. These guys that saying this and that about us and stuff like that. You know, you made us coexist. You made us coexist because you know why? Because when I go to certain channels and they obliterate Manny Pacquiao and say this and that, you just blow breath in my ears to make my channel. So we gotta coexist. If you don't like me and I don't like you, hey, it's all good. But you made me here. You put me here, man. You put me here. So let's work. You know.
But it also shows you the level of hate for Manny Pacquiao for some reason. Like it's like people who don't like Pacquiao really want him to go away. They really want him because he throws a monkey wrench in their favorite fighters' careers. Because if their favorite fighter loses to him, Well, there goes that. There goes. I mean, just remember when he was gonna fight Broner, nobody thought he was gonna beat Broner, at all. Everybody thought Broner was just gonna maul him and beat him up. And then he just destroyed Broner, destroyed pretty much Broner's career. And then he fought Thurman. Everybody thought that Thurman was gonna kill him, And then he just completely picked their favorite fighter apart. And we haven't seen Thurman in over a year. He hasn't fought since Pacquiao. So a lot of these people are actually disgruntled fans because Pacquiao picked their favorite fighter apart.
When I saw that fight with Broner and Manny Pacquiao was hitting Broner in the face, all I heard was this one lady in the background going, "Ah!"
It's probably Pacquiao's mama, man.
No, it wasn't Manny Pacquiao.
I just playing.
Broner's fans screaming.
I think it was Broner's wife actually who was.
Screaming. I heard her screaming like, "Oh my God, he's killing him!"
But y'all know Pacquiao's mama be back there putting spells on people, man. That's why he be having so much success.
Right, Manny Pacquiao mom's alone, man.
Man, for real, I wake up with an extra foot tomorrow, man.
That's right.
I like his moms though, man. His moms is real. Yeah. All right. Arlito says, I think Spence Crawford bout will not take place anytime soon due to the pandemic. They will probably do this after the pandemic to double the money, or probably more. You know what I mean. It definitely could be a big fight, man. If they can get it together. If Crawford survives this Pacquiao fight, it's going to be interesting to see the future of boxing. But I definitely want to see. I would love to see Pacquiao and Spence get it on. But if Crawford beats him, we probably see Crawford and Spence get it on.
Yeah, but the situation with this Verona situation, I think they got a window opportunity, and that opportunity is in May. May, June, because people are getting vaccines now. I mean, they got an excuse to open up arena and let people go.
But here's the thing: I think people are looking at it wrong, because Pacquiao's different, man. Pacquiao can fight outside of the country and draw a huge crowd, where Spence and Crawford can't really go out of the country and fight because nobody knows who they are for real.
Exactly.
So I don't think this whole pandemic is affecting Pacquiao's career as much as it's affecting their career, because Pacquiao can just go to another country and fight, where the rules might be a little looser. Those two guys and a lot of these other younger guys, they can't do that because outside of America, nobody knows who they are really.
Right, exactly.
I think Spence is stronger than Bud, but it's still Bud has more to give of skills, especially after Spence's car accident. I like what Pac's conditioning coach said about Spence. It's very interesting what he said about Spence, man. It's interesting what everybody's saying. Not Bob Arum, but Freddie Roach had even said a few things about Spence is looking different, So
I have a thing about Freddie Roach, man. I really do, man. Sometimes I just wish he would just keep his mouth shut. Sometimes, I mean, but Manny Pacquiao put him on timeout after that fight with Jeff Horn. After that fight with Jeff Horn, all I heard was Freddie Roach saying, "I don't know what happened to Manny. He's not calling and he's not talking to me." Yeah, you know why? You need to hush him out at times.
I have a theory about that whole situation, though.
What's your theory, man?
And I don't think they were ever mad at each other. I think because Freddie Roach was still under contract with Bob Arum, he couldn't talk about Pacquiao. He couldn't say, and Pacquiao had just left, and the way he left, I don't think he wanted to harm his relationship with Bob or harm his relationship with Pacquiao. So he was kind of caught in a word place to me. I really don't think they ever had any beef.
No, I believe you on that, but in the same way, he runs. At one time he would say, I think that fight with it was a long time ago. He said, I think that fight with Bud Crawford wouldn't be a good fight. He's too much like Mayweather.
Yeah.
He said and
that.
Now it's a different story.
He said that, but he came back like the next week and said something different. Sometimes he kind of contradicts himself sometimes. Because
that's why I said this.
Yeah. So sometimes you do want him to just be like, you know, it depends
Yeah.
on who he's talking to, what you get out of Freddie Roach sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But I guess you could say the same thing about Bob Arum when he said what he
Oh.
said about Pacquiao. But I think it's a little different there because he saw both of them guys. You know, he knows what he knows what both of those guys have to offer.
But,
and he
but
said
Bob
the matchmaker said that Pacquiao's all wrong for Terence Crawford. So.
But Bob Arum did say, remember when he said, you know, he blocked the fight, so and so. But
because he felt scared for Pacquiao.
Yeah, but then another video I saw that he said that Crawford might get hit he will get hit by Manny, and it might be a risk.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
He's all over the place. Like,
exactly. But Bob Arum's different because you know he's invested in it. In he was at one point was invested in both guys.
Right.
And you're trying to build one, and you're about to lose the other one. So
exactly,
I think a lot of that talk was based off of him Pacquiao leaving.
Right.
And
his new cash cow was Bud Crawford.
Exactly. You're not going to tear down the guy you're trying to build up.
Exactly. You see?
Bud is 20 times more skilled than Spence for sure. Bobby Rick. What's good, Bobby Rick? Thomas says he wouldn't beat him though. Bobby says, my opinion, Spence is okay. You read that one already. Spence fought at his actual weight at 160 would get destroyed. It depends on who he fought, man. At first at 160, I think he could actually give Canelo a good fight. In my opinion, I think he would give Canelo a good fight.
I'm still. I don't know.
I think Canelo's way more technical than he is. Don't get me wrong. Canelo's way more technical than he is.
Right.
But I don't feel like Canelo's that more quick as far as foot speed or anything that he is. He's just more. He knows how to use his technique to move around the ring that makes it look quick. He's not actually moving quick. It just looks quick because his technique is so good. You know.
Yeah. And I feel like he would need a fight before he fights Canelo. Like, just let him get acclimated to that.
I can see him fighting the Charlos before Canelo. I don't think he would jump straight into Canelo.
Yeah. So
let's see. Let me try to get through with this chat real quick. Adam M says, just like Tom Brady showing these new QBs that this generation ain't on his level, Pac is doing the same thing to the new welterweight.
I like that one.
He's like a 154 pounder. That's it. I guess he's talking about Spence. You know, he could definitely. I mean, Manny Pacquiao fought who was it? Margarito at 154. So Spence could definitely make 154 in campaign. 160 in campaign if he wanted to.
I thought he fought Margarito. I saw an interview with Manny. I think he said he was 148, and Margarito was more than it. Like, is it 154? You sure he was at 154?
Yeah, they fought at 154, but when they rehydrated, Margarito ballooned up to like 165. I think Pacquiao might have been like 155. I mean, yeah, somewhere around there.
154, 155. Okay. All right. Whew. Damn.
Bud is versatile. Bud is versatile for Spence. I guess he was trying to say Bud is too versatile for Spence. But for Pac, I give an edge to Pac. He faced most all styles already. That came from Orlito. Bobby Rick, bruh. Yeah, he can easily go to 160. I believe that too. He can easily go to 160. Juan Passion says, hello, brothers. What's good, Juan? Lewis says, Ryan Garcia, my dream fight is slowly becoming a dream again. Man, Oscar and Ryan are completely not on the same page. Because Oscar ain't having this fight, man. He don't want no parts of Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao. But Ryan Garcia is like, man, he's seriously riding Manny Pacquiao's coattail. He wants that fight. I don't think it's the right time at all.
Nah. Who would you think Tank will make more numbers? Or it would be more exciting to see Tank fight Manny Pacquiao than Ryan Garcia If that was to happen,
then Ryan Garcia, hell yeah, that's a way better fight.
Yeah,
That's a way better fight than Ryan Garcia.
yeah.
Just because Tank is a champion, Tank's an actual champion.
Right.
Ryan Garcia is basically a no. He's trying to build his name off of Pacquiao, which I don't like that.
Right.
Tank already has a name, and he doesn't have to build it off of Pacquiao, which is why none of these other guys who are champions are chasing down Pacquiao. I'm pretty sure they would take the fight if it was offered, but they're not out here like some schoolboy chasing his high school sweetheart like Ryan Garcia is, man. It's almost ridiculous at this point.
Well, I don't know about what Ryan Garcia, but I know that he's supposed to fight Tank. I mean, he did say he's gonna fight Tank if he didn't fight Manny. So I guess that's under the rug. No one's talking about it no more. It is what it is, right? I guess
it is what it is. Manny will test the chin and night. Came from Mac D. What's good, Mac D? Ain't Live says Bud reach and power is gonna be too much for Pac to deal with for 12 rounds. If it goes to the 12th round, Bud got a 74-inch reach.
Yeah, he got 74. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of scared. The only thing I'm scared for Manny is that jab, that power jab. That's his power hand. But at the same time, you got a long reach. But Manny's footwork will get in and he will parry. Once he parry that way, he parry that hand. That's a long hand to parry.
Yeah, if he gets up underneath of that reach, then Crawford's in trouble.
Thank you. That's my knowledge of that too. So yeah.
We got 23 people in here right now, man. Could y'all take your time out, man, and Pacquiao the like button for me? Hook it, jab it, uppercut it. Just let me know. Y'all in here, man. Drop me a comment as well.
Bro, I smashed it myself. I didn't even smash it myself. I just smashed it, yo.
That way, we get shared out to more people, and we get more people in the chat, man. I'll be back says Bud struggles against every B-level fighter. He got knocked down by a C-level fighter. Wow.
Well, that was a slip, right? Remember the guy? he slipped on his sweat.
That's like somebody did say that. Who is this? Kanaki or Laura broke record for most punches thrown. Broner Floyd breaks record for least punches thrown in boxing match. IB back says Adam M. Floyd Broner would be two guys looking at each other in the middle of the ring, waiting for the other guy first. But nobody wants to fight. And that would be an awkward fight if they did fight each other because they both kind of got the same style. It would be a whole lot of shoulder rolling going on.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes worth of shoulder rolling before a punch gets thrown.
Well, so what happened to that fight with Paul Logan and Mayweather? I heard it was still on. Is it still on?
No, it got canceled because of there was nobody interested in it. The last time I heard, I haven't looked into it too much, but the last time I heard, they canceled it because the interest level was low.
I think Mayweather should come back and fight Bruno. That would be a good warm-up.
I think fight. It would be a good exhibition, even if they just spar with each other, to build some fan hype around Bruno so he can make some money. I would watch them spar each other. I think that would be a good spar. So that's the thing. I would like to see a lot of these guys spar each other. Make the spar in public. I just want to see them. You don't have to turn it into an exhibition and make us pay $100 to watch. Just spar each other and put it on somebody's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Bad Tito says Pac's counter right hook is killer. What you think about that?
Yeah, that counter right. I like how he put himself in an angle to get that right hook out. It's kind of, I gotta watch the fight to explain it, but it's just too many dimensions with Manny Pacquiao, man. It's just too many. His blocking also is good. I mean, so many dimensions. I can't even start with him. Where to go? I know he's gonna beat. I just know he's gonna beat Spence and Crawford straight up. I just know that. That's just the vibe I got out of it.
I definitely got him beating Crawford. Spence, I feel like that's the harder of the two fights. I still got him winning, but right now I got it a draw right now.
Okay, I got Crawford is gonna. Crawford will give him his hardest, but I think that, like I said, the chin with Spence, he shell up too much, man. He shell up. Once he shell up, you can't shell up too much. That's like he said. That's like Manny Pacquiao. He said he reminded him Galati, with Joshua Galati. When I heard it, I was like, I went and looked at Joshua Galati. I'm like, these two don't
They
look.
move. They move very similar.
They move kind of similar and they have the same body shape and body type. You know, the shoulders are kind of wide. You know, the wide shoulders, and I'm looking at
even Margarito too. They all kind of move. They move very, very similar.
Yeah. So I was very surprised when I heard Manny Pacquiao compare Spence to that. You know.
Orlito says for sure Bud will work on putting Pac on the back foot. I just don't know if he has a great power. He has great power to be respected by Pac. Makes him think twice and go on the back foot for a second or more. I definitely don't think he. Only reason I would see Pacquiao backing up is if Crawford's trying to rush him. I don't. I see. It's going to be a really sad style fight, especially with both of them being southpaws. You know, both of them being able to go in that southpaw position. I think it's going to be a lot of body blows thrown. You're gonna see Crawford try to jab him, and Pacquiao try to duck the jab and throw a lot of body blows.
How do you feel about Manny Pacquiao on the ropes? How he fights going backwards on the ropes? Because I noticed when he fights Morales and a lot of these fighters, when he's on the ropes and he's on the side of the ropes and he's moving back, he catches your ass.
And that's what I was about to say. I think he uses it similar to Ali. It's almost like a rope dope. He's trying to get you to come at him so he can catch you with something.
So as long as his reflexes are good, be good. Yo. As long as his reflexes are still there.
About Spence, I think that jab will work. Especially he has the reach advantage, and obviously he's good on that. It depends. It depends, man. I'm trying to get through this chat, man. Then we can. I'm gonna move on to this article. Shut up. Pac has never fought on the back foot. Everyone ran from him. He knocked out everyone who fought toe to toe. That is a fact, not opinion.
But I noticed there's some fights where Morales, a couple of boxers, they try to get at him, and he's on the rope sliding, and then he catches you. Bam!
Exactly.
I seen that. Well, come on, hey bro, I know you've seen that in fights where Manny could catch you backing up on the rope. You've seen it like in the ring, but on the side,
like I said, he almost uses it like a rope-a-dope, like Ali did. He's trying to draw you in and get you moving forward so he can catch you with a hook or throw a flurry.
Right, but that is a fact. What the comment he had is a fact too. So,
Sean is so awkward. Many thought Pac is so awkward, but Sean is really. Yeah, Sean Porter's a real awkward fighter. That's he's it's because he moves forward. He's a real come forward style fighter. Right. There's no moving Sean Porter backwards. Unless you pushing him, ain't no moving Sean Porter backwards.
Yeah.
But that would play right into Pacquiao's hands if they fought, because Pacquiao, he likes that toe to toe. You come at him, he's gonna land some really weird solid shot on you and probably knock you out.
Yeah. Wow.
Adam says, I'll be back. Just two guys shoulder rolling each other. It's gonna be a whole lot of shoulder rolling if Mayweather fight Broner.
That'll be a commercial for Head and Shoulders.
Let's see what about here. Let's try to get through all this. Pac said in an interview that Margarito was at 160 or more during the fight. Yeah, I remember that interview. He said he had when he rehydrated, he ballooned up to like 160. Which makes sense why Pacquiao was able to do him that way. It's because he was so slow. Basically Pacquiao was really small and really quick, and he's really big and really slow. So he was just able to berate him with punches.
And the problem with when you fight in Manny Pacquiao, you get gunshot, you get punch shot, because once you start getting punched in the face, it's either you shell up or you kind of like, if I throw something, I'm gonna get hit.
You get hit, yeah.
You get hypnotized to be like, I'm punch shy. It just tells the mind, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And I think that's how that Earl Spence fight could end up playing out. especially if Earl, like you said, if Earl Spence starts to shell up, you know,
Yeah.
because he did that to Margarito, he did that to Cotto, he did it to Brandon Rios, he did it to Clottey. All the bigger welterweights, they couldn't deal with his speed
what,
at all.
what was the fight where I think it was Margarito or Cotto, he was touching him up so badly that Manny Pacquiao looked at the referee like, yo, are you gonna stop this
It
shit?
was both of those fights. He wanted the ref to stop both of those fights, but
He
it was
looking at
really
yo,
it was really the Cotto fight because I think he him and Cotto's kind of friends. So
right.
I think, and he said something about Cotto's wife was screaming in the crowd or something.
Yeah, he's like, come on, can you just stop the fight already? He looked at the referee. I was like, damn.
But that's what I was saying about the Thurman fight. Everybody was saying, well, Pacquiao slowed down at the end of the Thurman fight. I just feel like Pacquiao feels like he doesn't, once he's up to a certain pace, he doesn't have to completely try to kill these guys anymore. You know, I think he feels bad about what he did to Cotto for real.
Yeah.
Because I think he did some like real damage to his skull or his eye socket or something. Like some real
I think that was Margarito.
Was it Margarito? One of those guys. He did like
Margarito
some real
cheated, man.
Yeah, his eye socket. He like crushed his eye socket or something.
Yeah.
Pacquiao likes to counter jabs with that lead left. That came from Brandon Villatuya.
Yes. He shoots left, boom. Then he pivots. He goes around. Yeah, you're right about that, bro.
That's one of his signature moves. That's one of his signature. But he like you said, when he does that coming off the rope sometimes too, where he'll get you coming at him and he'll find the ropes. But to me, what he's doing is he's purposely trying to find the ropes so he can pivot hard and throw that punch. So he's trying to back into the ropes so he can actually do that move.
Yeah.
Sherwin Reyes says, "Ain't Crawford reach is useless. You remember what Thurman said to Manny, a short man with a T-Rex arms, hopping, jumping like a rabbit. In round one, he was knocked down, backing up after Manny's 4 punches." Is that what he said too? I remember he was saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, T-Rex arms. But see, the thing is, these boxers don't understand. Manny uses his feet before he uses his hands. His feet get him where he needs to be, and a lot of people in that part, they just seeing the hands. They just seeing the hand speed, but they're not knowing that the feet is the whole purpose of getting him in that position with his short arms, and that's the illusion. That's the illusion. They just keep thinking his hands is fast here, but it's his feet.
His feet is quick, you know, and then he's throwing and he can plant. It's crazy that he can generate power moving. You know, not too many people can actually generate power while their feet are moving. You normally have to be planted for you to generate power, but for some reason he's got some type of weird special ability to where he can be moving and generate knockout power.
That's what he did with Keith Thurman. That's what he did with Keith Thurman in the first round. He did that bam, bam, bam. He ran.
Yeah, and the shot was so crazy, man. When I remember when I was watching it live, I almost knocked my TV over. I was like, oh boy, it's over. I thought it was over. I didn't think he was gonna get up, but I was ground. I'm like, okay, he's still awake. He's not.
I was looking to see he get knocked down a couple more times, but it didn't happen that way.
I think that was purposeful by Pacquiao. I think, like I said, once he gets up in points, he's not looking to, risk it like he did with Marquez anymore. He's not looking to try to kill these guys anymore. There's no need for him to Margarito nobody no more.
But like you said, the scorecard, he needs to really get these guys knocked down.
Yeah. If it's a close fight, he has to go into that mode. He can't leave it up to the judges. Or he's going to get another Tim Bradley, Jeff Horn decision.
Yeah, basically.
Let me try to get through the rest of this. Jules Floyd Broner is like sleeping pill. You will fall asleep watching faints all through the fight. Hey, but I completely agree with you. I mean, he somehow turned Manny Pacquiao into a sleepable fight. I actually fell asleep doing it. I ain't even gonna lie. Around the 10th, 11th round, I did fall asleep.
Well, I think that's the safest fight for Mayweather to come back and fight. It's just Broner. That's the only thing I could see.
It would be. I mean, it would just be good. I think it would be good for Broner. You know, I hate what's going on with Broner right now. I don't want Broner to be going through this. So I think it would do a lot of good for him to try to, it would do a good for him to make some money.
Yeah, basically. And I hope we don't blow it this
Brand, I wish I saw Spence and Floyd spar. Man, that would have been awesome. That's why I said, man, it would be great. The whole fantasy fight thing, with Tyson and them. I think that's good, but it's not real. I would much rather see these guys in sparring situations, because sparring situations are the closest thing to a real fight. So I would much rather.
So the sparring with Tank and Timo, did you see that when they was younger?
I haven't seen it. I've seen portions of the Pacquiao-Porter sparring. I've seen a little bit of the Pacquiao-Kambosos sparring.
How's Kambosos? I didn't see that sparring. Was that he's pretty
good? I like
good?
Kambosos, man. He's good, man. He's good.
You think he'll give Timo?
I think he could knock Tio out. I still think that Teofimo Lopez-Vasil Lomachenko fight was kind of a fluke. I'm just one of those guys who give people who get injured the leeway, man. This is sports. These guys are athletes. They're gonna get injured, right. And especially in boxing, man. I can't believe that people believe that boxers don't get injured for some reason. Like when they say they're injured, or they might have fought somebody with an injury, like that lion, for some reason. But people will sit up and watch professional wrestling and believe that ish. They'll be watching wrestling like that is really real. Like, but they can't believe a boxer gets hurt during training or sparring or a fight. that blows my mind. Really, that really blows my mind.
I see Richard Ortilla said Pac versus Tank.
Who?
Richard Ortilo. He said Pac versus Tank or Pac versus Loma. That Pac versus Loma. Lomachenko father didn't want nothing. His pappy.
He didn't want nothing to do with that.
Nah, he didn't want nothing. He said he didn't want to build his legacy over with Manny Pacquiao.
But who would be a better fight, Pac versus T.O. or Pac versus Loma? I think Pac versus T.O. would be the better fight.
Yeah, for now.
For now. But I don't know what Loma's gonna be like. Did the shoulder injury affect him? When he comes back, is he gonna be the same? Is he gonna be better? Or is he gonna be worse, than what he was at first? So we got to see what Vasil comes back with. I think he deserves the rematch. I think the Lomachenko fight rematch should be T.O.'s next fight. It shouldn't be a year from now.
Right. Yeah. What was that article you had?
Which one? Oh, the one I was trying to get through these chats, man, so I get caught up before anybody said anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and just dive into this article real quick, man, because I don't want to hold you up all night, bro.
No, I'm cool. No, I'm good, man.
Okay, so the article is, I'm not sure what the name of this publication is. It just says the R.
Listen to this.
Huh?
Evie Bach said Bud is ducking Manny. He won't sign a contract, but never wanted to fight Manny when Manny was with Top Rank. As soon as Manny left, Bud balked at Manny every day. So
all these guys have been calling each other out and not fighting. So they good at calling each other out, but they're not good at accepting fights, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, let me get to this article. The article is called Pacquiao Crawford Gets a Boost as Porter Rejects Top Rank's Offer. So Sean Porter's not fighting Terence Crawford next. He's already rejected the offer. The only obstacle in the mega buck Manny Pacquiao Terence Crawford bout is the Filipino icon's asking price of $40 million. You think he's pricing himself out of the fight? You think that they set the price so high because they knew that they wouldn't accept that offer, and that's kind of a way of dodging the fight?
Well, I don't understand what you mean. Like, because just yesterday you ran down Margarito, you ran down Hatton, you ran down Cotto. There's 2 fights in one year, in 2008. I think it was 2008. Hatton and Cotto. One was 12, one was 35 million.
Yep.
And 1 year, that was a bad year. That was the fiscal. That was when the house market exploded, man. It wasn't a virus, but it was a bad year for us, as the little guys.
It was
but,
really
but
bad.
the big guys on Wall Street was doing good, just like in this pandemic right now. Wall Street is doing pretty good. They triple their worth when there's a pandemic or there's so 40 million. No, but I don't understand what you mean by is he pricing himself out. You mean Manny Pacquiao?
Because I get a lot of comments and people saying, well, it's not going to happen because Pacquiao's pricing himself out. And I'm like, well, how's he pricing himself out when the investors are putting up the 40 million? He's not even Bob Arum. It's not like they asked Bob Arum to put up $40 million to fight Pacquiao.
So Bob Arum gives Crawford a guaranteed money of 33.5 or 4 million. He can't put another certain amount of money to make up 10.
And that's my thing. And it's not even, and that's the other thing. It's not even all on Bob Arum. It's on Bob Arum ESPN. So ESPN would most likely be putting up a portion of that money too. They're going to be invested in that fight too. So I don't see how people feel like Pacquiao's pricing himself out of this.
You see, they're not seeing the big picture. If Manny Pacquiao wins or if Bud Crawford wins, the next fight is with Spence. That's going to create more revenue. They got to look at the bigger picture, man. They got to look at the bigger picture. This is not just a one-shot thing. It's going to be.
But that's the problem with boxing, though, man. Is if people be so engulfed in their favorite fighter, they're not really looking at the big picture. They only want to see things going the way that their in the favor of their favorite fighter, man. It's crazy. But let me get in this article. Chances of Manny Pacquiao battling Terence Crawford this year get a boost following Shawn Porter's rejection of Top Rank's initial offer for him to challenge Crawford for the WBO welterweight belt. Pacquiao has declared he wants Crawford for his next fight, and the unbeaten Nebraskan retorted the 8th Division World Champion in his prime target with Porter coming next. I don't know what they mean by that. Nebraska reported that the 8th Division champion is in his prime target with Porter coming next. I guess they mean that's his prime target is Shawn Porter. I'm not sure why they wrote it that way. The only obstacle for that mega buck Pacquiao Crawford happening thus far is Pacquiao's asking price of $40 million, with the 3-division world champion ranking in the 10 million range. Sans a title, Porter was initially dangled $2 million to fight Crawford, but the 2-time 147-pound champion won't take the bait. Porter, a former sparring partner of Pacquiao, told Boxing News the offer was demeaning. I understand the business of boxing at this point, and to even begin negotiating at $2 million is an insult. Everybody in the sport of boxing knows the welterweight division is the hottest division in boxing, said Porter. He holds a 33-3-1 record with 17 knockouts. The losses coming from Earl Spence Jr., Keith Thurman, and Kell Brook. I didn't. Okay, so Kell Brook did beat him. I forgot Kell Brook beat him. I actually thought Brook. I thought Porter beat Brook. Actually, according to Crawford, currently ranked the world's best pound for pound with a 37-0-28 KO slate. He prefers Pacquiao over Porter. Yeah, I prefer the Manny Pacquiao fight over Shawn Porter. But Shawn Porter is a great fighter in its own right, and I'm going to be ready for whichever one comes to fruition, Crawford told Fight Sports TV. For Crawford, Pacquiao was the logical choice. If Arum finds a way to secure $50 million, which will likely be available only in the Middle East, and I don't get what they mean by that. If Arum finds a way to secure $50 million, which will likely be available only in the Middle East, Crawford stands to receive the biggest paycheck of his career. Also, a win over Pacquiao, a universal crossover superstar, would cement Crawford's status as an all-time great and pave the way for an even more lucrative fight. Uh, this early lucrative fights. Okay, this early, the 42-year-old Pacquiao is preparing for his next fight, posting on Instagram a video of him jogging and shadow boxing. Whether it will be against Crawford, the 33-year-old still hangs Spence for division world champion Mikey Garcia and upstart Ryan Garcia are also dying to share the ring with Pacquiao. All right, man, that's a lot to digest right there. But I heard the thing I'm hanging on is if Arum finds a way to secure 50 million, which will likely be available only in the Middle East, Crawford stands to receive the biggest paycheck of his career. What do they mean by if Arum?
Well, this is the problem. Arum been through this already. After the Kell Brook fight, right? With Bud Crawford and Kell Brook, after they fought, he stand there with Spence, and they both agreed. It's not like Bob ever said this by himself, and I can say he's lying. They both agreed that they was trying to get investors out the country. I don't know what this was saying. I mean, isn't the investors out of the country? Like,
and that's what I thought. According to what I was hearing yesterday, they were saying that the money for Pacquiao's already there. So I don't understand why Bob Arum would have to come up with $50 million to make this fight. I'm not sure what they mean by that right there, because they, like I said, they said that the investing group had Pacquiao's 40 million already. So I'm not really. I don't get that part. Why would Bob Arum have to come up with $50 million to make the fight if the investor group has $40 million already? It don't really make sense, but hey, it's in there. What do you believe that they mean by that? Do you think that they wanting Bob Arum to put up all the money, or I don't. That's a new one on me right there.
Yeah, that's new.
Or do you think that they're expecting Bob Arum, maybe because Bob Arum said last year that he already had these investors ready to put up the money. Maybe they're expecting Bob Arum to go with his investors and put up the money for the fight because he has an ESPN backing him. I really don't. That kind of that whole little comment right there throws a monkey wrench in things, if you ask me.
Well, listen, all I see is the facts. The facts is that Manny Pacquiao is training, so something got to go down.
Something's about to go down. We know he's gonna fight within the next 2.5 months.
Yeah, he training. He ain't training for nothing. He training for something. So he's gonna find somebody. He's gonna find somebody that's gonna fight him. So if it's not Crawford, hey, maybe it's Tank. Who knows? That'll be funny. You know what I'm saying? It could be Tank.
Let me get into the comments real fast, man. As usual, man, we got 19 people in here right now, man. If you haven't already, please Pacquiao the like button for me, man. Hook it, jab it, uppercut it, man. Just let me know y'all in here. We're trying to get out to as many people as possible. And if you hit the like button, the algorithm will definitely share us out to more people. So, hit that for me. Sean Reyes says Manny should fight Lopez after Crawford for an instant undisputed champion legacy status. I don't know if Lopez is the complete undisputed. There's a whole controversy going on about Lopez and whether he's undisputed or is there another belt out there that he doesn't actually have yet. So I'm not sure if he's completely.
You talking about Devin Haney?
Yeah, I think there's one more belt out there. It's another belt that he has to get before he's completely undisputed. Jules says only reason Pacquiao and Crawford fight has been difficult to arrange is because the purse is split in 3: Pac, Bud, and Bob. Y'all know Bob Arum got to get his cut, man. Bob Arum need a new wheelchair and some hair plugs. He got things to buy too. Brian Santos says Bud and Spence are in mid early 30s. They act like they're young. I mean, that is true. I think a lot of people look at Bud and Spence like they're up and coming fighters. These guys are both 30 years old, so they're not up and coming at all. And which is strange for them to be that age and not have more championship caliber fights on their resume.
We fight once a year. What do you expect, right?
I mean, that is true. That is true. Like I said, Manny Pacquiao fought 3 legendary names in 1 year. Morales,
2 Morales. What was it, Lores?
Yeah, exactly. Bad Tito says Manny gonna sell 75% of the fight. Bud can't sell out his backyard. I mean, y'all be killing me with these comments, man. I mean, that's true though. All the fan base is basically coming from Pacquiao. This is the reason he's getting that he's commanding that 40 million. Only a few fans are coming. You know, if they sell 600,000 in pay-per-view buys, 400,000 of that is Manny Pacquiao fans. And I don't think we could even argue that fact. I don't think there's an argument.
You think in pay-per-view buys they have to make like at least 600, 650, maybe close to 680 to make up all that money?
And I think he could do that. The Keith Thurman fight did 500,000 buys and 37.5 million.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was arguing with a guy in my comment section the other day about that. He was like, well, the Thurman fight didn't do nothing in pay-per-view. He said they only did 37 million. I'm like, okay, but see, what he was trying to do is be misleading. He's like, okay, it only did 37 million on pay-per-view. But when I went back and looked at the numbers, that's 500,000 buys. So, you know, that's not like something to sneeze at or something to throw away. Those are really high numbers for now.
That's something that they ain't getting from no other boxer right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think Spence Danny Garcia did like 160 or 200,000 buys. So those guys are not even doing half of what Pacquiao's doing.
Right. So,
and Crawford's name's a bigger name than Thurman, so they would definitely do somewhere around 600, 700,000 buys.
Yeah.
So I mean, that right there alone would generate the 50 million that they put up.
Yeah.
Because that 500,000 with Thurman generated almost $40 million.
And they're gonna have a gate, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
They're gonna have a gate.
Okay, Bud fought on local TV in his hometown for free. He can't sell out a fight. Oh man, you guys are killing me with this. But it's true. I mean, all this is true. I can't, it's funny, but it's true. Unfortunately for Bud, it's funny, but it's true. Bud just got Nebraska packed the whole world. Worse, really, who's really pricing themselves out?
Exactly. Yeah, man, he has the whole world, man. Not just his country, man. He got the whole world, man. Everybody know, man.
Exactly. The world, that would be Bud's biggest paycheck. Everybody is B-side against Pacquiao. I mean, it is what it is. Pacquiao is bringing in the fans. Unfortunately for these guys, they haven't done the groundwork to make themselves boxing famous yet. They're like hip hop famous. They can go stand next to a rapper and be, get a little bit of their famous, but that doesn't equate to people in Russia or people in France or people in Sweden, wanting to buy your fight. So Pacquiao can sell fights around the world. These guys can
all over, man.
Yeah, he can only sell fights to hip hop fans, really. IB Back says Bud's last fight made 1.6 million. Offer 5 times. Manny's offers 5 times more. 10 million. Nobody ever offered Manny 5 times more than his last fight purse. Wow. True. That's extremely true. I mean, no, except for Mayweather. We can't say nobody. He did. I think before the Mayweather fight, he made $20 million. He made 160 million off the Mayweather fight. So he made almost 10 times, like 7 times off that Mayweather fight than what he normally makes. So other than that Mayweather fight, nobody else has offered him that type of money.
Right. But a lot of people don't like Manny Pacquiao in this situation. They want Manny Pacquiao out, right?
Exactly.
But you could blame Mayweather because Mayweather ain't rematching Manny Pacquiao. If they
And
rematch, he would be out the era. He won't even want to
all
do
Mayweather's fault. This is all
Manny
Mayweather.
Pacquiao.
If he would just give him a rematch, there would be no, well, Manny Pacquiao's holding up this, Manny Pacquiao's holding up that. Pacquiao would just go away. He said that when he came back. I came back to fight Mayweather. I want to fight Mayweather. If he would just give me a rematch, I'd go away. Y'all could just go on about y'all business. But we can see that there's obviously a reason that Mayweather don't want to rematch him. You know, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's a reason.
The money is there. They not gonna ask for 40 million if it wasn't there. They know everyone will tune in. It's cause this may be Pac's final fight, and it's against against an elite fighter of this generation. You know what? If he beats Crawford, it's not Manny Pacquiao's last fight. He's already said he wants to fight Spence in September. You know, August, September. So he said when they talk, his team's talking like win or lose, he's fighting Spence. I don't know about that, but it could be win or lose in the situation here. He might fight Crawford, lose, and then still go fight Spence. We don't know yet. So, but definitely if he wins, if he beats Crawford, he's definitely talking like he wants that Spence fight, no matter what. Manny Pacquiao. Hold on. I did something here. Okay, here we go. If Manny beat Bud, say goodbye to Spence because Spence will never go near Manny. Manny can retire. Interesting. You know, it could possibly play out like that, man. If he beats, if he beats Crawford, he might not want to fight Pacquiao. He might just go fight you guys and just say, forget Manny Pacquiao. I'm not dealing with that. You're not ruining my career.
That'd be a straight, but then you see that'll be a straight up duck because Ugas got a belt, Manny got a belt. And if you don't fight Manny, you decide to fight Ugas.
But what might happen is, that's what I was about to say, exactly. What might happen is he might fight and beat Crawford, and then Spence might refuse to fight him and say, hey, go fight you guys, and then I'll fight you. Yeah. And what might end up happening then is he might just go knock out you guys and then retire. He can retire unified. He can still say he's unified.
Yeah, he never did that, right? No, he never unified, right?
No, I'm saying if he beats Spence and then if he beat Crawford and then Spence refuses to fight him, he goes fighting you guys and beats him, he will be unified champion. He'd have the WBO belt and the WBA belt, so he would still say I retired as the unified champion.
Yeah.
So he don't have to fight Spence to be unified.
Right. Undisputed.
He has to fight him to be undisputed, but he don't have to fight him to be unified. Yeah. Ben Israel says, Shalom, Red, you ready? Man, damn. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to Israel.
Yeah. He's homie, man. He rolling with Spence all the way.
Yeah. You're a real one.
I'll be back says Manny made 5 times more in the Floyd fight. But don't forget, Manny was already a fighter of the decade, a future Hall of Famer. Bud is not. Manny offers Bud $10 million. It's too generous. I mean, he obviously offered him that much because who would be foolish enough to turn that down when you've never made that type of money? It's a very smart business or negotiating tactic to oversell somebody to get them to do something. So it's kind of his way of baiting them into the fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this fight don't happen, it says a lot about Bob Arum and Bud Crawford, and their intentions moving forward. And it says a lot about Manny Pacquiao because it should let you know that Manny Pacquiao is a very high risk for all of these young guys. It's a really, really, really risky fight. Because if they lose to Pacquiao, they stand to lose their whole career.
Bob Arum been blocking everything left and right.
Hey man, I can't hate him in a way because he's trying to protect Crawford from himself, really. Because if he loses, he stands to lose it all.
Damn.
That's just my opinion, man. We got 30 people in here right now, man. Could y'all please take a little time out, Pacquiao that like button for me, uppercut it, hook it, jab it, Earl Spence it, head bun it, punch it in the nuts if you got to. let us know you here, man. Drop us a comment, man. It's been almost 2 hours, Caps, man. I don't know how much longer you want to go. I'll probably take a couple more comments, man, and I gotta go get something to eat, man. Anything else you wanna say before we get out of here?
Oh, man, let's see some of those comments. Let's see what's the comments. Let's get straight to the comments. See what's up.
All right. The last few is if Bud ain't fighting Pac, Bud will make $4 million in his next fight, and we'll all know it ain't gonna be Spence. It will be against a B fighter. I think that's true. I feel like if he don't fight Porter next, he don't fight Pacquiao next. I think Keith Thurman will make a strong push to fight Terence Crawford. I like that Thurman Crawford fight too. I really do like that fight.
Yeah.
What about you? Who you think will win that fight, Thurman and Crawford?
Same thing.
What'd you say?
I said the same thing. I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like Thurman might be a little bit too much for Crawford, man. And Thurman fought Pacquiao. He's battle tested, man, to get some of the best. He fought Spence too, didn't he? Didn't Thurman? No, he didn't fight Spence.
No, he ain't never.
Because Spence would have been unified if he fought him and beat him.
Thurman all the way back there somewhere.
Yeah. Abby Back says Bud been barking at Pac, and Pac is barking back, but Bud remains silent.
What do you say that? He says Pac barking back on Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy negotiation going on right now. And he called him out. Pacquiao called you out, and now it's in Crawford's court now, man. Are you going to actually accept the fight? And if he doesn't, like I said, man, it says a lot about Terence Crawford, his confidence level, and Bob Arum's confidence level in Terence Crawford. And it says a lot about Pacquiao and what he possibly could have left in the tank.
So what do you think he'll fight? If he can't fight Crawford, who do you think he'll fight?
If he can't fight Crawford, I would be disappointed if he didn't go after that you guys fight. If he can't fight Crawford, because I know Spencer's not gonna fight him first. I just know that's not gonna happen.
Whoa. You don't think Spence won't fight Ugas?
Huh?
You don't think Spence will fight Ugas?
No, I don't think he'll fight Pacquiao first. I think.
I mean that, but you think he'll?
I think if Pacquiao don't get, and I know he said if he don't get the Crawford fight, he's gonna go after Spence. But Spence might not want to fight Pacquiao first. I think Spence would kind of try to freeze him out and try to force him to fight somebody else first.
But the famous, right? Famous saying.
What's that?
Is that Manny Pacquiao got in the ring with Spence, and Manny Pacquiao ducked Spence in the ring and said,
yeah.
Come on, the rope would dunk.
Yeah. Listen.
The show. Come on,
I just feel like Spence wants all the chips to be in his favor, whoever he fights, just in case he loses. And I don't blame him because he can command that because he's the best guy right now. So I don't feel like it's ducking. He just wants all the balls in his court, man. You can call it ducking. I mean, if you want to call it that, in a way, it is ducking. But he just wants all the marbles, all the chips, all the basketballs on his court, man. So
that's it.
That's just the way it is. He's the top dog right now, so he can command that.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's the new wave of boxing, ain't it? This is what Mayweather created. Yeah. If everybody was following Pacquiao's lead, everybody would just be fighting each other, But nobody's following Pacquiao's lead. They following the Mayweather formula.
And it'll be some losses,
Yeah.
Zeros.
Exactly.
Be some L's. Somebody will
Bad Tito says pack by points. Pack by doints. I think you meant points. Pack B doint. I don't know what you meant by that. Pack B doint. Maybe there's some foreign. I don't know. It might be some foreign stuff. Orlito says Crawford versus Roy Jones. You and him. I guess who would win if Crawford fought Jones? I don't think was Roy Jones ever a welterweight. Did he start out at welterweight?
Yeah.
He started out at welterweight, and then moved up to middle and was dominating at middleweight for a long time, and then moved up to. So I think Roy Jones would have killed Crawford if. Come on now, Roy Jones is one of the fastest fighters ever.
Definitely.
Yeah, he would have demolished Crawford.
Nah,
right. About that. Ben Israel says Red Bob Arum not going to pay Pac-Man 25, definitely not 40. He don't believe in Bud. I don't think he does either, man. I don't think he
but he could make some money off of Bud on
but
this
he
fight.
can make some money off of Bud's fight. So it's just putting him up against bums, he can make money. I think Bob Arum, that was his plan, was to keep matching him up against top ranked fighters.
The welterweight, the 140 is coming up.
But yeah, exactly. But there's so many people coming up that
There is Josh Taylor.
Yeah,
they all take that belt from him.
I don't think he planned on putting Crawford out there just yet. I think he was still trying to sit on Crawford for a little while longer. But the state of the welterweight division is calling for this stuff to happen. Let me get through this chat, man, so we can get out of here. Pac has private investors in the Middle East. This is what I'm hearing, man. But what I just read is it was weird that they're saying that they want Bob Arum to come up with $50 million, which I don't get. I think they might have just misquoted something there. Bad Tito says Pac done all the heavy lifting, having to fight both these guys because they won't fight first, man. I agree with you there, man. I think it's he shouldn't have to fight both of these guys, but if that's the only way he can get to what he's trying to go for, why not go for it? They strip Pac because they don't want the WBA title to end up with top rank if Pac happens to lose. I agree with that. What about you?
Same thing with that WBO belt. I
feel like that's the same reason that Bob Arum is lowballing all these guys.
What was the last time the belt? What was the last time the belt was moved from Bob Arum?
Exactly. He does not want to lose that belt, man. And unless it's the perfect fight and he stands to make millions and millions of dollars off of it, he's not going to risk it. GT says, "What up, fellas? What's good, GT, man? Appreciate you for coming through." Jules says Roy way too big for Crawford, man. He would have destroyed Crawford. It wouldn't even took him 2 or 3 rounds. And Roy Jones in his prime versus Terence Crawford right now, even Roy Jones not in his prime, right before Roy Jones got knocked out would destroy Crawford.
Right. Damn.
Ben Israel, man down. We want all this smoke. 60-40, but let's He been promoting this fight for like 4 days, man. He wants all the smoke, man. Happy Back says Bud don't think Spence's offer is fair. He don't think Manny's offer is fair. Damn. Look at him. He can't even sell a fight. A beggar can't be a chooser, which is true. You can't even sell a fight, but now you're trying to sit up here and bet and dictate the amount of money that somebody wants, which it's crazy. Orlito says, you two fight. You as Crawford and him as Roy Jones. How you say? Hell no, man. You try to put me in a lose-lose situation because that means I gotta beat Crawford. Look how big he is. He gets to be Roy Jones. I think they talk about me and you. He's saying that you get to be Roy Jones and I get to be Terence Crawford, and me and you get it all. I'm like, hell no. Try to get my head knocked out.
You know this black and black already, man.
That ain't happening, bro. I'm trying to throw me into the wolves, man. Forget that. Nah, I want a 99-1 split for that fight. You get 1% of the purse off that fight. Bob want to take his money with him to his grave. Y'all
When
still
you think Bob going to retire?
uh
When you think Bobby going to retire?
who, Bob Arum?
Yeah, you think he would never retire, right?
No, he's not gonna retire, man. His retirement day is the day he check out.
That's
That's the day he gonna
He's
retire from boxing, man. It's gonna be sad too because I want he hasn't put nobody in place yet to take over for him. So it's gonna be crazy when he do go because top ranked boxing is gonna be in shambles.
But what about Todd? His what's this guy named Todd? Some family member.
Oh yeah, I heard about him.
Son-in-law, some shit like that.
Yeah. Pac also got Jack M.A. I'm not sure what that means. Lolita says Bud takes the 10 million. If you beat Pac, you can ask for 20 to 30 million in your next fight, which is true. You know, it sets him up to be a big money fighter, man. If he takes that fight, if he don't, it just says a lot about him. His career is probably gonna dwindle anyway because Earl Spence ain't gonna fight him. You know, it's just not gonna happen. GT says Bob's time is almost up. The clock is ticking on Uncle Bob, man, as they like to call him, man. Hey, we got 25 people in here right now, man. I'm about to get out of here. Can we get to 30 likes before we get out of here, please? You know, pack out that like button for me one more time before we get out of here. And I'm going to let Caps and Full G have the last word. I appreciate them for coming through, sharing this time with us, man. Hopefully we get to do a lot more of this now that we got it working.
Everything technical difficulties to the best, you know.
Man, yeah, the technical difficulties, they only make you better, man. So you know, exactly,
right?
Exactly, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the last word, though, bro.
Just Caps and Fulls, you know, CAPSNINFULG, you know, all in caps. You'll see me.
What's your final thoughts about Pacquiao Crawford for the day, man?
Like you said, the last thing to say is that it's Crawford's move now. It's Bob Arum and Crawford's move. They got to make a move. If they don't make a move, then we know what's up. Simple as that. Manny Pacquiao offer out. They take it or they don't take it. It's on them.
Is 10 million? Is 10 million enough in your eyes, or is Pacquiao? 10 million enough? What you say?
Thurman got?
How much Thurman got? I think Thurman got he got like 6 or 7 million to fight Pacquiao.
Pacquiao got 10, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, y'all, man.
If you never had it and you're gonna get it, what's the problem not taking it?
And he only stands to make more if he fights him and beats him. So you know,
I'm hungry.
Yeah, he should really be pursuing this, man. In my mind, he should really be pursuing this.
If not, well, whatever. Yo, peace out, everybody, man. Enjoyed it, man. Red, thanks for putting me on the channel with you and hanging out, man.
Oh man, we're gonna do a lot more of this, man. Hopefully, we can get more people in the chat. You know, one day, man. Just and open it up, expand it a little bit more, man. So it's only gonna get better, man. It's your boy Cardinal Red and my homie Caps and Full G, man. Go check his channel out, man. Hopefully we'll be back at this. When we gonna do it again, Caps? Let them know when we're gonna do it again.
Probably Saturday or something.
Saturday.
One of those 3 days. One of those days.
Okay. That's cool with me, man. It's cool with me. You know, just drop me a line, bro. You know I'm always available.
All right, man.
All right, bro. We out of here.
Yes, sir.